What's good, everybody? It is your girl, Tika Deshawn of All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. Here to give you guys the recap from Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 4, Episode 18, entitled Hot on the Trail. And the description reads as follows. When the highest shares his new plan with Ruth, she contemplates expediting her plan of escape, and Marva goes to extreme measures to try and cover her tracks from Ruth. So with that being said, when we last left off, we saw that there was a scuffle between Malcolm as well as River. This scuffle goes on for about 5 minutes to the point where even Peter gets involved in this scuffle. And that is when Malcolm attempts to gouge the eyes of Peter out, just to kind of get him a loose, because he has his legs around Malcolm, restraining him from any basically trying to stop him from hurting his Bay River. And not only is it just his Bay River, he's calling him my river, my river. So this episode, this scene literally got crazy. So we see where again Malcolm gets the best of River finally, and then he takes River's clothes and attempts to put them on. He also takes a bite out of that sandwich. Now we know that that sandwich ain't quite right, so Malcolm might be on a whole different timeline, life expectancy, since he's taking a bite out of that sandwich. But he does take River's clothes and leaves River there. He leaves River there in the trailer. He attempts to release Peter with the tool, and basically, so Peter is left with one hand hanging, and he's telling Malcolm, "I thought you were going to help me. I thought you were going to help me." And Malcolm is like, "I don't trust you," because he's trying to ask Peter who River is to him, but he's not giving him any answers. So anyway, you guys, we see where again Malcolm finally he takes a bite out of that sandwich, and then he runs off from the trailer and closes that door back. Okay, so then back at the station, we see where they're having a conversation. They being Desiree, Cal, as well as the one and only Mac, the Lion Mac, in regards to Deputy Sheriff Polk, and he lets him know that the body that there was that the sheriff was unalived, a quote unquote, by one of the cult members. Now she has to, of course, Desiree is going to do her job. She goes in because she needs to verify this story with Andrew. So anyway, back at the Rockadushi compound, we see where the highest has finally eating his dinner, as well as Daikon is sitting there counting his money. Y'all, I don't know when Daikon eats. I don't know. Maybe he'll go to his trailer and cook and eat his own food. But anyway, I digress. He also tells, they're just talking about, the new heaven, and that was pretty much it. He says that he wants to see Ruth. Of course, he wants to see Ruth. So Malcolm, or Daikon, you guys, is going to leave the highest's trailer to go find Ruth. Then we see other mother. She's sitting and cackling and having a good old conversation with this new Akadusha member, where Ruth tells her to get up and leave, but of course she doesn't leave because she's undecided as to who she's supposed to listen to. Shall I listen to Elder Mother Supreme, or shall I listen to Elder Mother Ruth? So anyway, Ruth tells her to leave, and finally Elder Mother Marva finally says, "Okay, you can leave." So Ruth tells Elder Mother Marva, "Listen, I know what you tried to do to me. I know you tried to poison me. I know you tried to, make me sick, because I gave that sandwich to the hog, and the hog is over there about half past dead. And I know that you tried to, I know you tried to do this to me." So, of course, Elder Mother Marva, she denies the whole thing. She's like, "No, I didn't. I didn't try to unalive you," her Elder Mother self. But she beats feet so quick to that trailer where she's, going in there, and she's going to mix up a concoction so that, we'll get to that part, y'all. We'll get to that part, y'all. But anyway, she's going to go in there and mix up a concoction. So anyway, we see where Desiree talks to Andrew, and she finally tells him, he finally tells her, "Hey, this is he." Even though it's not voluntarily, she's like, "Tell me about Deputy Polk." So Andrew says to her that she was unalived by Belinda. Now we remember Melinda, y'all. I'm sorry. We remember Melinda from earlier season 2, where she stuck a tool into the neck of Poke. She literally poked him, and he bled out. And so Andrew had to come there and remove the body. Now Desiree is asking Andrew, where is the body? But of course, Andrew is like, that's all I have. I don't have anything else to say. Where is my lawyer? He's lawyering up. However, they're not going to call a lawyer for you, Andrew, unfortunately, because you're looking like a Rakadushi cult member. And she even tells him, you are a Rakadushi cult member. You're not one of us anymore. And so Desiree walks out, tells Cal it's the same old thing. Basically, that his story matched with what Max says. Only difference is he gave a name. So then back in that kitchen, I told y'all Elder Mother was mixing up something, right? So she mixes up some concoction to give to the hog, because Ruth said that the hog was over there dying. Now, she mixes something up to counteract with it, gives it to Zane, tells Zane to go give it to the hog and come back and let me know how the hog is acting, whether it's walking around or whether it's sleeping or just about to be unalive. So anyway, you guys, we see Malcolm, and he walking like he belong on the Rakadushi compound, eyes all black circled, probably smelling a hot mess. But unfortunately, he's been suffering. He's been hanging out in that punishment trailer. So anyway, you guys, we see Ruth coming, and I'm like, oh no, she's about to blow up his spot. But y'all, Ruth literally walks right past him. I know she recognizes him. She's been in his face many times. But I guess because she has so much other stuff to do and so much other stuff she's got to figure out, she allows Malcolm to make his way over to that gate where he attempts to get out of the gate. And yes, he definitely does get out of the gate. But we'll get to what happens once he gets out of the gate. Then we see these two plotting and planning and scheming, trying to figure out what they're going to do. Malcolm or Daikon tells Lewis as well as George that they are expecting a safe to come into the compound. And so they are definitely on their guard. They're looking at Ruth, and Ruth is like looking at them in a certain manner, like, do not let that safe come onto this compound. So anyway, Ruth walks up because she's called by Daikon, and the Daikon lets Ruth know that the highest would like to see her. So she walks away, and she makes her way over to the I was about to say the sheriff, y'all, but she makes her way over to the highest's trailer. The highest proceeds to sit down, and he gives her the pamphlet. This is the pamphlet of the hotel as to where the children are. Unfortunately, on that pamphlet there's no address, so she does not know where she needs to go to get her daughter from. But the highest tells her that this is the hotel that I'm planning to purchase. It's being sold by a old man who owned the hotel. Now listen, y'all, when I think about the old man and he says this old man is dying, I'm like, is he referring to Victoria from the Oval's father? Because right now that's the only old man that we know that has enough money and resources to actually own a hotel. But who could it be? So anyway, the highest says that he's just letting her know that's where we're gonna go when we get ready to move. So anyway, y'all, she sees this hotel again. Then the highest says one other thing, that this man who owns this hotel messed with him at the age of 6 years old. He also tells Ruth that the children are at that hotel, that they are used as a down payment, and the girls or the children that are 14 years and older were given to this man at this freaking hotel. Oh my goodness. And Ruth, her antennas go up, because at first she thought that her baby girl Callie was involved in that, but thankfully Callie is not yet even 14. Callie is still like 9 or 10 years old, so she's not old enough to be sold off quite at the moment. So anyway, Ruth is a little bit relieved, but she then tells the highest, listen, I think that you should have a prophecy tonight. I think you should, tell everybody what's going on, that we're gonna be moving, and this is where we're gonna be moving to, and that you should, put it on the film projector. So the highest was like, oh, you always thinking for me. Yes, I will do a prophecy tonight. And then she says, can I come back and after the prophecy give you a special bath? And he's like, oh yes, you can come back and give me a bath. So anyway, after in the punishment trailer where Malcolm has left Peter and River, we see where Peter and River get into a verbal altercation, not just verbal, but physical as well, because Peter is like, okay, this is our opportunity. We can leave, but River's on that same old shenanigans. No, we can't leave. No, we can't leave. Yet, not one moment does he mention the fact that they can't leave because he's trying to get money for them. He never mentions that. So, again, Peter is angry. You were supposed to be my River, but Peter is angry and he ends up hitting River. And River's like, don't you hit me again. Don't hit me again. But anyway, Peter's like, bump all that. I'm out of here. He leaves River in the punishment trailer. So back at the front gate, we see where they're doing another test on Manny, trying to see if they can trust him. So Manny is telling them that, of course they're being, they're talking about how there's supposed to be a safe that's supposed to come in, and one of the gentlemen that's supposed to bring is one of the soldiers in the black suits by the name of Ben, that's going to be transporting that safe. And so they're saying, well, we can't let that safe get in here. But then one of them comes up with the idea and says, it was George to be, or Lewis to be exact. I think Lewis said, take the paperwork out of the safe, take it, because that paper will have like the numbers, the account, or the code to get into the safe, and then it will take them a while to actually open up the safe because they don't have a code, which, okay, that kind of makes sense. So they agree to that. So then back in the kitchen, we see where Elder Mother is talking to Zane, and Zane, she's letting her know the hog is doing good, there's nothing wrong. Then she says to go get Lacey because we have more laundry. So listen, Lacey just been doing laundry all day long, and she probably gonna do it all night long as well. So anyway, Daikon walks into the kitchen trailer and talks to Elder Mother, and Elder Mother, of course, she's just so against Ruth, and she's thinking that Daikon and her can team up to basically get rid of Ruth, but Daikon is still in love with Ruth, so he's not with it. She tries to run the mind game and say that, I know you hate it when she is with him, but Daikon is like, whatever the highest wants, if he's happy, then that's what it is. So anyway, you guys, we see Malcolm, and he is running towards a car, and then when you think it's safe for this man to get out and be alive, this car has been ripped of all its tires. There are no tires on this car, and Malcolm is just so distraught. He ends up falling out crying. I hope that food that Elder Mother Marva gave him does not affect him right at this moment, but he was definitely bent over trying to run to get to this vehicle that has no tires. Dang, man, you can't win for losing. So then we see where Ruth and Daikon are having a conversation, and Ruth lets Daikon know that the highest wants to have a prophecy for tonight, and he says, okay, I know what to do. I know how to set it up. But then she says, but Daikon, what's wrong? And, he's saying that basically you telling the highest that that's his baby after you told me that it was my baby. Like, you big lying. Like, who's the daddy? You know what I mean? But Daikon is like, well, that baby better not come out looking a certain way, but I'm dark skinned. I'm darker than you as well as the highest. So you're going to have a problem if that baby comes out looking not like me. So anyway, up to the gate comes the safe, the magical safe. And we see this new character by the name of Ben. Shout out to Zuri James. He's been in quite a few films. Go Google his name, Zuri James. I'm telling you guys, you're not going to want to miss who this man is. He's doing his thing. So anyway, we see him and he pulls up to the gate. And he gets out of the truck. He talks to Manny, lets Manny know what's going on. This is the safe. Yes, it has paperwork, so on and so forth. And so Manny is playing the deal. He gets that paperwork out of that particular safe, and then he lets the truck go into the Rakadushi compound with the safe. Now we see Ruth, and she's over here cutting up potatoes and carrots, and of course she sees that the safe has made its way to the compound. She also says, well, then George Lewis walks up to her, and Lewis says to her, "Hey," she says to Lewis, "Y'all, the plan is set. I got him to do a prophecy tonight. We're gonna be out here in the pavilion, and make sure your girl is ready. If your girl ain't ready, it's gonna be some problems." That's basically what that conversation was about. So y'all, then everybody at the FBI office has gone to lunch. But not only did they go to, the only ones that were left over from going to lunch were Sheriff Conley, as well as Mac, as well as Desiree and Kyle. So they come in and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to lunch and do one anything back." And Desiree and Kyle's like, "No, I'm good. We'll go later. We'll basically they're gonna wait till everybody else come back." So anyway, Desiree receives a phone call, y'all, and it's from Aaron's father. Now Desiree says something to Kyle. She says, "Well, let's say this. Let's go back, you guys." On the phone is Aaron's father, the senator. He lets Desiree know that he heard from his son that he's hiding out behind the restaurant. And not only is he hiding out behind the restaurant, but Sheriff Conley is in on the shenanigans, and the one and only Mac, aka the black man, shot the other deputy. Deputy Kate, y'all. So Desiree is receiving all of this information, and she says to Cal, there's a package over at the behind the restaurant. Can you go get that for me? And she's stalling because Conley and Mac are trying to make their way out of the sheriff department, but she's stalling, and in walks Aaron, y'all. Oh my God, lock them up, lock them up, lock them up. Anyway, you guys, that was the end of the episode 18, entitled Hot on the Trail. Yes, Desiree is definitely on the trail of Conley as well as the Rakadushi, y'all. All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much for tapping in and tuning in with your girl, Tika Deshawn. I appreciate you for hanging with me for about 18 minutes. If you're new to my channel, finding me for the first time, please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can receive reminders of new Ruthless content, okay? All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much.